The other thing that I wanted to say was, this is also very personal, is that about 6 months before Mary died, I thought it was a good idea to do a video documentary. At that time, I had an idea thinking that the passage of time, or the impact of time, or the perception of time is very important in our development. And I'm personally very much interested in what does one person think of time when the time is getting very short. And so my idea was to interview senior gerontologist, geriatrician, who I exposed to those ideas, exposed to people who's with very minimal time. And I was very much interested in what people think. I'm interested in what a person who studied aging, and certainly Mary was one such person. So I had a project called It's About Time. And it's a collaboration between myself and a retired video documentary person who's been a NBC person, producer in the Today Show for a long, long time. He retired and he was teaching at University of Georgia, and this is how we met. We thought Mary was really a challenge to really document what Mary was about. It wasn't an easy thing, but I approached Mary about the project, and immediately she became a director. And I'm glad she was, because she knew what Mary was about. And if you talk to Mary, she does. And what she did, and she knew she had limited time. She knew at that time she had cancer, and she knew her time was really very short. And she essentially called together her colleagues, people that she mentored, and other senior colleagues. And she made a schedule for us. These are the people you want to talk with. And we went and did this documentary. And Aura was one of the persons that Mary really wanted to interview. And we had some very nice and very moving interviews about how different people think about Mary. We finished the job as quickly as we could. And if you know how to do editing, it's not an easy job to do, because you need to take things out of sequence and make a story out of it, and make a story that's really worthy of the subject you're trying to describe. And on one hand, it's easy to describe Mary, but on the other hand, it's not so easy, because she is so deep and she is so complex. But we finished the job, and we went back, and Mary previewed this with close friends and relatives about a month prior to her death. But in doing this project, we interview her family, the people that she took care of, issues within the family, her own family, and others' family. We interview young physicians that she took interest on, and how she impacted the life of this particular young physician who was treating her and her cancer. We certainly talked with colleagues, but I found out much more about Mary in this particular assignment than I would ever have done in any other way, and I'm so grateful for doing it. So from that standpoint, and then at the very end, we went back to Mary, and at that time, chemotherapy really took a toll on her. She was bedbound. Her hair was gone because of the chemotherapy, but she was proud of her bald head. She didn't mind having a camera there talking to her. At one time, when we finally finished and we said goodbye to her, she was sitting in her dressing room and just with sparkle in her eyes. Very, very optimistic. And dying was really furthest from her mind. And she knows that she only had days. And that was about 30 days before she died. She's quite an example for all of us. And she has so much to teach us.
Thank you.